Are we only half alive?
Good morning. Welcome back to Bits of an Artist's Life. This is Sandy Hester, and in this channel you get bits of my life as an artist. And this week's bit is me finishing up this sketchbook. I am heading out this morning. It's Saturday morning. Grady has gone fishing, creek fishing with a friend, and I've done grocery shopping, breakfast, all that, and I'm heading out to a local coffee shop to sketch because it is blazing hot out, like 5 million degrees. It's bad. So last night going to sleep, I was thinking about where could I go, what could I do today. So I'm gonna head to a coffee shop. I have one page left in this sketchbook that I think of this kind of sketchbook, which is a nicer, more expensive sketchbook, even though it's not crazy expensive. It's the Ranger sketchbook. I'll have it linked below. But it's very nice paper, very thick, very, very nice sketchbook, and I love it. It's cream pages, and I have one page left. That always feels amazing when you're wrapping up a sketchbook. So I'm going to take y'all along with me, show a little bits of the coffee shop, and I'm going to finish this, and then I'm going to give you a sketchbook tour of this sketchbook. I love this sketchbook, like the sketches that are in it. If I lost this one, I would feel very sad. There's paintings of my family in here, there's travels, all kinds of stuff. You've seen little bits of it here and there in other videos, but today you're gonna get the full famo, I don't know, and I can't wait to show it to you. So let's first head off to a coffee shop. Let me show you what I'm taking, my minimal supplies. Basically, I call this like the nothing. I'm barely taking anything, it's just like nothing, because it's so little. This sketchbook, I usually take a sketchbook more like this size if I'm going to a coffee shop because I can get more information. This will take me longer to sketch, but Grady is fishing this morning, and then he said he may even go for a bike ride this afternoon. I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen because it is at that point going to not be 5 million degrees but 5 billion degrees, and I think he's going to be tired. But I thought if I don't finish it this morning, I'll go back this afternoon and get like a scone and some coffee, which will be nice, and I'll finish it up. I thought that would be a good plan for the day. So welcome, come with me. Let's go get some iced coffee because it's so hot and sketch. It's so fun. If you've not done this kind of thing, give it a try. It's really life-giving. It's very nerve-wracking at first, and I still get like, my heart gets to beating a little fast when I first go to a place. But then you like hunker in and it's just worth it. It's like kind of adrenaline excitement. Okay, let me show you what I'm doing so we can get to the coffee shop. Let's go. Zip it up, zip it up. That wasn't a kiss, that was me saying like, stop talking. All right, so here's my basically nothing supply. It's gonna feel like more because this is a large sketchbook. It's thick and heavy, but that's okay. I've got my little tin of baby tiny pencils that I like to use. These are all my favorites, so I have that. Then I have packed a few more pencils in this. I don't know why, because more than likely I'm only going to use my watercolor and gouache, but if you don't have it, you don't have it. I've stuck some of my karate brushes that I love to use back there. Nothing in here, like that's just it. And I think because my brushes are right there, I'm going to just leave that open and fold it like that. I think that'll work. Keep those babies safe in there. Yep. Obviously, my watercolor gouache palette. I've shared what's on this palette in some past videos. Ooh, is that still wet? No. Okay. And then I do like to take, even though it's more weight, I take all my small tubes of gouache and watercolor. There are some other colors that are not on my palette here. I like to take these, though I usually don't use them, to be able to just stick my brush in if I need thicker wet paint. And then I'm going to put everything in this cute bag that someone made for me. I think there's a couple of clips in there. Actually, there may not be. Let's go to clip. Let's see if we can find a clip. Usually, I have a bunch of them, but I usually never can find them, okay? And I need to make sure I also have someplace in here. I thought I had, where is it? Great. I never can find things when I need it. I've got a little thing that has like my pencil sharpener shavings. Where are you? Nowhere to be found. Okay, well, I'll have to find it. It's someplace. But that's all I'm taking. I'm gonna head out now. So much fun. Okay, my bag is packed. I did find my little thing that has the pencil shavings and sharpener. And there's the bag packed. Pretty, let's see if it's light. I was gonna say pretty light, let's see. Oh, well, because of that sketchbook, it's a little heavy, but that's okay. Let's go. Let's jump into the sketchbook tour. I think I already mentioned this, but this is a Ranger sketchbook. It has cream pages, very thick, and I really like it. It also has this nice pocket here, which I love, but I never use. This sketchbook lays flat really nicely. So we'll just jump in. I used the first couple pages to do some Emma Carlisle Patreon sessions of some animals. I think this is in maybe acrylic. This is from a local garden that I go to quite a bit, Cheekwood Garden. And I did this from other sketches that I did on location there. This is a bird painting that I meant to take a little bit further. I think I was going to add more birds, but I'm really happy with how they turned out. I think I painted these birds from some of my older, yes, I remember now. In fact, I had some footage, I think, of painting this that I never put in. If I have extra time, I'm gonna put that in now. But basically, this background, I used an abstract painting that I did. I used that as reference for the background, and then for the birds, I painted these from other birds of paintings of mine. So basically, I took two paintings of mine and collided them together and did this. Then I had that same kind of idea. I think I just did some abstract background and then started painting birds on this and was going to take it a little bit further. But I think I ended up getting bored, which does happen quite a bit. Some of these I've left some of the paper in here because I couldn't remember what I used. For the most part though, I've taken all the paper out. I usually stick pieces of paper in between to keep things from sticking or smushing onto one another. This was either done in my landscape class or from paintings I did in my landscape class. I'll have a link here and also below to my classes, but this was the taking notes in the landscape class, and this is a collaged bird. Basically, this was done from one location. This house is painted at that same location from different views of that house, different sides, and then I've kind of formed like a little town. This is also inspired from that landscape class. I love this. I love that little cloud right there. That cloud makes me so happy. This is quite a messy page. It is a lot of soft pastels. My hands are so dirty now. I'm gonna wipe them off with my pants. Okay, this is a painting from an on location sketch that I did of geese. I've done this kind of version so many times. This painting, this sketch has so much texture. I mean, you just want to touch it. I want to touch it, and I am. Absolutely love it. This house right here is this house, but sitting at a different location. Actually, that house, I'm standing on the balcony of this house, but this is a sketch that I combined two different sketches together, and when I did this part of it, I'm standing on the balcony of this house and overlooking this pool, and these are statues. This is from a local park that I go to sometimes. Actually, I think I've got a video on here of that. Another park painting. This is from a video I did called something like Granted Access. I'll link it here if I can find it, where I got permission to go on some property that I had been eyeing for forever. And it's just gorgeous property, and I've painted out there and just love it. I think I did this one there on location. Yeah. And this also, same location, cows and a beautiful fields. So that one was just a quick 15-minute. This was another one at that same place. I think I spent like a weekend out there. Same location. So interesting how the same location, like going at different times of day, or just using different material, or just kind of doing the, well, I'm going to do it like this, and then what if I do it like this? You can just get some really wonderful paintings. Same thing, same location. I've not looked at these in a long time, and I really like them. Makes me want to go back. Okay, this is from my family photos. I've got a video on here too about this, how I've been taking family photos and painting from them. And this is one that I did, I think, at least 2, maybe 3 times in this sketchbook. And each time, like trying to get looser and playing with perspective. And Raggedy Ann and Andy get scarier and scarier as we go along. I love this though. This just takes me back to reading a book in bed with my sister. Oh man, look at Raggedy Ann and Andy. So scary. It cracks me up. I absolutely love these because they crack me up. She's looking like, oh no, I think they're gonna get me. And I think my sister looks really cute there too. And then, you know, I'll add things like milk and cookies and I don't know, just things like that as I do these. This is one I did of, I feel like this is like St. Michael's. This has got so much, oh yeah, my fingers are dirty again. Soft pastel, I love this. I love the clouds. I do love doing a good cloud. I love the colors, the mark making, the composition. It's one of my favorites in the sketchbook. This is from a coffee shop. I think though that this is taken, I did this one from like 3 different sketches at this coffee shop. Yeah, and this guy right here was actually in a painting on the wall because there was like nobody there at one point. So I started taking figures out of the paintings on the wall and putting them in the coffee shop. As an artist, you're allowed to do that. Another coffee shop sketch. This is one that I didn't finish, but I ended up liking it unfinished like this. That baby is cracking me up. She looks like, do we have to be here? Oh my gosh, her little face is making me laugh so hard. Anytime there's an exit sign, I love doing exit signs. I'm having a hard time saying that. Exit signs. Oh. Okay, this one has a lot of memories for me, like good and bad. I loved doing this painting and I think it's beautiful. I love this figure here. I've got a video on here about this and how it all kind of came together. But when I look at this, I think about Cooper, my dog's death, because I started this and it was that night that his legs, all of his legs stopped working, and then the next day we ended up having to put him down. So that's what I think of when I look at this beautiful sketch. Unfortunately, it's just kind of filled with sad memories for me. This is another painting that you can tell I got bored on and stopped. I've sketched the birds out here and only painted 3 of them, but I love it just like this. Every time I come back to this, there's something here and I want to like do something with this. I started it on a background that I think I had some plans for it and then I didn't like it, so then I started doing these birds over it. I don't know, I just love something about that though. This is one of our house sitting on a side that I don't usually sit on. Just a really quick one done one night, sitting out in the field. This is part of my family photo portrait paintings. That's me, my sister, my brother, and one of our houses growing up. Again, family photo series, and just combining a couple different photos all together in this one. And then I made up this scene of Santa in the background there. I just love it. This is another one that just makes me smile. These of my family photos and trips and stuff just, for me, carry so much meaning. It's why it makes this sketchbook so special. This is me as a child, part of that family photos. Another one from the family photos. I won't linger too long on these because I've got a whole video on them, but this is one that I think makes, what's the phrase I usually say? Reward looking, because there's just things kind of hidden all around. It's funny when you can't remember your own sayings. This is done from a painting in a gallery. No, in a museum. And this is done. This is another family photo. Really trying to abstract a photo of my mom and dad. I love the abstraction going on in this right here. I love that blank negative space. I love the way I've done those eyes and nose. I wrote what was on the back of the photo also. And this is me. It cracks me up because my dad never looks like my dad. It's kind of like Grady. I can't ever paint him very well either, or it doesn't ever look like him. But my dad never looks like my dad. This is that same photo, and I was just trying to be really abstract. This is of our property, just sitting in the yard one night. I think it looks like maybe I just used watercolor, but I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff probably in there. Another just abstracted one of our landscape, of our view from of the mountain. Actually, I think I did these two from little watercolors that I did, and then I painted from them. I really like these. A lot of nice like mark making here and colors in that. Yeah, I like things that make you want to just kind of keep looking and that move your eye around. This is from another Emma Carlisle Patreon session. It was a pigeon session. These are warm-ups, and then I think I didn't do what we were supposed to be doing in that session. I do that a lot. I think I just worked on one painting the whole time. Then this is from our trip this year to Florida, and I've got a whole video on it also. And I tell more about these paintings in that video. So again, I won't go over that here, but this is supposed to be Grady. I mean, look at his chest hair. I always love doing Grady's chest hair. It's so fun. These bring back memories. So another pull from that same Florida trip. This is me starting to bring watercolor back into my array of stuff and wanting to paint real big and loose. I picked a big brush and just was like, slop it on, Sandy, be loose, be thick with the paint. This is from some pictures I took, and I took some photos of like the roots and just did this on a camping trip, sitting in our trailer one day when it was raining. This is from the Florida trip. I've got a video of this also where I paint this. Like you get to watch me do the whole thing. Got that here. And this is from a park that we camp down from the road, but we go hiking here a lot. One day while Greg was hiking, I did this scene. I feel like I did capture kind of a spring sunny day there. This is me hunkering down to figure out my mixes and greens, and I have a video of this too. Lots of color palette mixes. I mean, to me, these pages are gorgeous. They make me want to go mix some more, and I'm kind of like, oh yeah, I need to get this. I'm gonna sit this out because I feel like I've forgotten about some of these mixes. Look at that marigold and Payne's gray. See, that reminds me, like I haven't been using that mix. I haven't been using this mix. Yeah, this is like a jewel of colors here. Wow. Okay, I need to stay on task, but this is really making me excited. Cad yellow, aqua blue, burnt sienna. Wow, inspiring myself here. Okay, this is nice. think I'm gonna sit down. Oh, I remember that mixture, that was so good. I'm gonna sit down and do some more of these today. Okay, back on task here, sketchbook tour. Okay, this was at a local marina that I went to, that I've gone to several times. And this is a local park that I go to quite a bit, Shelby Park. Really happy with this. This was all done with just watercolor and gouache. I feel like I got some nice mark making in that, and thick paint and thin paint. Very happy. This was also just done with watercolor, and this was from a series that I've been doing from Little Women. Several of the Little Women movies I've been doing paintings from, and playing around with how, this was when I was experimenting with how do I want to use watercolor and gouache, how do I want to use it with other materials, and I just did that using these scenes. These made me really happy looking back. I think I did a Substack post on that if you wanted to watch a video on those. May have mentioned it here, I can't remember. This is bird painting class. This is also from the Little Women, but I didn't finish it, and I wish I had, because this was all going really well, but I got bored and didn't finish. This is from that Shelby Park that I go to all the time. Oh, I was trying to figure out, I'm working on a big painting and kind of got stuck, so I did some sketches trying to work things out. Then this, I did a couple paintings. I got inspired by another artist. I can't remember her name now. So I was playing around with all this mark making down here. And I think using different materials. I think there may be another one of those in here. Maybe not, maybe it's another sketchbook. Okay, another one from the Shelby Park. I move around at that park. And look at those little ducks with their little feet in the water. It's so cute. Yeah. And this is from another park in Nashville, painted from another painting done on location. Do that so many times. And this is from the park where the Parthenon is, the Centennial Park. Sometimes I sit over here and the Parthenon's like here, and then sometimes, yeah, I just sit different places and get completely different views. It feels like I'm at completely different places. But this was done with gouache and watercolor, and it was done from a sketch that I used all kinds of supplies in. So it's always nice to try to then get those same marks or see what it looks like in a different medium. That is so part of my practice. This was done very, very quickly at Shelby Park. I think I only had like 15 minutes, but it was a little bit different composition than I usually have done, and I did some more of that. This is that same park, sitting in my car at the same location, but at night, and a different composition, but you can see, like, because of the lighting, it just changes everything. This right here is my favorite part of the whole painting. That raven. I've been painting him over and over and over and over in other paintings. And then this is one that I'm really happy with too. It's kind of this, taking this and some others that I've done and squishing it all together, but zooming in. And I'm doing a large painting on a large piece of paper to sell with my park series that I'm doing, painting at the park, or a day at the park series that I'll be releasing at some point. And I just love the feel, like when people are out feeding ducks, they're all like like this. And then got my little raven with his little orange legs hanging down. So cute. And then these in the background. I really love this, and I'm loving how the big one's turning out too. And then this is another Emma Carlisle Patreon session. It was like 2 or 3 different parts of that session, and I just incorporated them all, so it kind of looks like they're in the background and this lady's up in the tree picking apples. And I just used my watercolor and gouache. I've done this session many times and have made really beautiful sketches from it, so I wanted to take just my watercolor and gouache and see what I could do with it. I wanted to take basically something that I was very familiar with and had painted successfully or drawn successfully, to see could I do that in a different medium. So if you're trying a new medium, that could be a good way to do it. Take something that you're familiar with, that you know that you do well, and then play around with the medium. So at least one thing is fixed and you know that it turns out well. Then I think this is the last sketch. Yep, this is the sketch that I did at that coffee shop. I did not finish it, but I'm very okay with that. I kind of like the negative shapes here, and there was a guy that came in with this Great Dane dog. That dog was massive, and the guy sat right here, and he had his dog lay down, and I knew they were going to get up. I could tell they were looking for a table to open up. So I thought, well, I'm going to just take some pictures. I didn't get the dog, though. The dog stood up, like right when I got my camera up. Well, I sketched this, and I thought, oh, I better take a picture, and then he stood up. But I thought, I really like how he's kind of ghostly right there. And you can see a blue line right here, and you can see probably orange pencil marks. I initially sketched out with an orange pencil. This one right here, the Burnt Ochre 077. I really like this pencil. So I started doing just quick sketch with like big shapes. And then I realized, oh, I put these windows all the way across. And then I thought, oh, I turned my head and I was like, oh yeah, I want to get that big window in. So what I did was grabbed this pencil, a different color, which is Middle Cobalt Blue 660, and started sketching some other things to go over that because I wanted to change it. So I do that often, but I don't mind at all that there's like a blue line here across his face. I mean, this is all about sketching. You can tell like right here, I had sketched her much larger. And then when I went in with the paint, I thinned her down a little. So I think about it like that. Just realize when I sketch that I can carve back in with paint or whatever I'm doing. These lamps are like the neatest, like neon orange up in the bowl of the light. So that was fun to capture. And then I kind of moved that same color around. And I moved things around, like this sign was actually way over here, but I wanted it in, so I popped it in here. And then that's it. This is one of my favorite sketchbooks. I think because it has trips and family members. I mean, it just holds so many memories for me. And I hope you enjoyed it as much as like I've just really enjoyed flipping back through this. And I feel inspired by some things that at the time that I was doing, I wasn't inspired by. I was kind of bored by. I'm even glad that there's memories attached to sad things, like losing my dog. There's just something about painting and sketching and doing life, that being like tied into your life, that books like this, sketchbooks, hold. And they kind of go like this with life and your work. And these things just, I don't know, solidify together. And so people that are like, well, I don't understand why you would do this. And I'm like, well, that's why, because there's, not only am I practicing and I'm keeping my hand moving and I'm learning, and this is a place where I'm free and I can experiment. It's combined with things that go on in life. So like that green painting, when I painted this, I didn't know what was going to happen later that day. And I know this is kind of like a sad example. Maybe I should go to the example of like my trips and stuff. Yeah, let's do that. That's a little bit happier. Or even like, yeah, let's go to the trips. That's a little happier. So, you know, when I'm on a trip and I can't even find it now. Oh, well, I think you get the point. When I'm on a trip and I'm doing these, the sounds, the smells, the conversations I have with my family, like all of that just goes like this with these sketches. So it's like priceless for me, absolutely priceless. And a plane is flying overhead, so they're probably hearing a loud background noise, but yeah. Okay, there it is. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. I will see you back here in 2 weeks. And in case you're wondering, yes, my elbow is doing a little bit better. So I thought I was going to go on and just get out another video this week. Thank you guys for all the kind of comments and well wishes. I feel like there's one other thing I was going to tell y'all about. Oh, the bird painting class is coming out soon. Maybe the next video, maybe. Okay, I'll see you back here in 2.